This week we're talking all about Apple and wireless charging and the Apple One plan drop. So what are we supposed to do at this point? All we can really do together as a people, of course, is take it out. And welcome to another sensational Saturday. This is Mike, and this is Mike Texts It Out, and yes, I'm back to talk about the tech news. And you know what? This Saturday isn't even sensational like normal. This Saturday is spooky because it's Halloween. And you know, I know a lot of you guys don't know this, but I can get scary. Like, look at this. See that spider? That was scary. You need to turn off the video to go, kind of gather yourself. That's fine. I'll give you a few seconds. Came back. All right. What am I talking about today? Well, I want to talk about wireless charging and Apple. So it's rumored, based off of an FCC filing, that the iPhone 12 might actually have reverse wireless charging built in. So those of you who are not familiar with it, is basically you can put another device that has wireless charging on the back of your phone and charge it. A lot of Android phones have had this for the last couple of years. Apple, of course, as usual, is late to the bandwagon, but I will say that when Apple implements a feature, they usually do it right and try to do it in a way that doesn't compromise battery life. So let me get into the quote from the FCC filing, why everybody thinks that the iPhone 12 might have a hidden wireless charging feature. So basically the quote says that the 2020 iPhone models also support WPT charging function at 360 kilohertz to charge accessories, including external potential Apple accessory in future. So that was first found out by Jerry Horowitz through VentureBeat. I actually found the story on Engadget. Bloomberg also pointed out the rumor that the new AirPods Pro might have a MagSafe style case to stick on the back of the phone, because MagSafe is the big thing, which we're actually going to talk about in a little bit. So that would make sense, because now that you can magnetically stick stuff to the back of the phone, the wireless charging, like all that in one, could make sense. Now, it would be very un-Apple-like to just have a hardware, like the hardware to do something hidden into the phone and not mention it at all, especially when they're trying to sell these phones to people with as many features as possible. If we go back to the iPhone 11 last year, that year where we could actually go outside and do stuff, they did a teardown and they found that the iPhone 11 actually had components in it related to reverse wireless charging. Like, they started working on it, but then they changed their mind. So it's possible that the iPhone 12 could have those components in it, but if it does, will Apple enable it? And I just don't know, because the battery life on these phones didn't improve over last year. They stayed the same. In the 12 Pro's case, in this phone's case, it got an hour less battery than the 11 Pro last year. So of course, you enable a feature like that, that's going to affect the battery even more. And the fact that Apple didn't mention it when they announced the iPhone, it'll be a little bit weird for them just like, a few months after the iPhone was out, like, oh, it's reverse wireless charging now. They could do it. I'd be hyped if they did it. But I just don't know if they would do that with this phone, or that would be an iPhone 12s or 13, whatever next year's phone is going to be called. That's going to be that feature, for that phone. I'm more so leaning towards it being a feature for the new phone. I just don't see Apple just randomly enabling like reverse wireless charging on a phone that they didn't advertise had it. And it would kind of be like a weird public trust thing too. Because I don't know, I can see people turning it around and being like, well, what else is Apple hiding from me? So I don't think that they will actually do it, even if the phone is able to do it, with them being so concerned about battery life this year with adding 5G. I just don't think they're going to do it. Now, there's been another discovery related to wireless charging, also related to MagSafe. So I did get one of the new MagSafe chargers. If you watched my video on Tuesday, I talked about, gave my first impressions of the new iPhone. I briefly talked about MagSafe there. But it's funny, when I went to go get my phone from the Apple store, I also asked if they had the MagSafe charger, because it was like sold out everywhere else. And it didn't list it on the website if they had it or not. And they did have it. And the funny thing was, she strongly suggested that I buy the new 20-watt power brick to go with it. And I had the iPhone 11 Pro last year, which came with the 18-watt power brick. So I was like, I'm not going to get that, because the charger, it charges at 15 watts. Now, of course, you need a little bit of overhead, so it can be the most efficient. But I was like, if it's not, I have my MacBook Air, that's a 30-watt charging brick. I have my computer that has a USB-C port, so I have other options. So I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna use my iPhone 11 Pro charger. She was very like adamant about, so like, well, you know, Apple, you know, we strongly suggest you using this one. So reports are coming out now that in order to get the full, you know, 15-watt charge from the MagSafe wireless charger, you have to use that 20-watt power brick. They did drop the price to $19. That's where I've seen it at. But the MagSafe charger is already $40. And then on top of that, you want me to pay an extra $19 for the Apple specific charging brick when I have other chargers around the house that are capable of putting out this wattage. So that's basically the deal. Like, they tested other chargers, or from what I'm hearing, like Anker ones are also like not working with it with wattage above, you know, the recommended. Apparently even the MacBook Pro chargers don't work with it, and you know, those are like 65 watts or 60 watts or something like that. It really doesn't make any sense. Like, it works, but it only charges it at 7.5 watts, like, you know, normal wireless charge. Apparently the iPhone 11 Pro charger, the one that I have, the one that I'm currently using, does kind of work. It gets around 13 watts apparently, not the full 15. But from the early reports that are coming out, it seems like the only way to get the full 15 watts is to buy that new $20 power brick. And which, if that's the case, like if Apple's gonna be so specific about it, they should have just bundled it with the charger. Like, I understand they probably would have charged $60 for the charger, but if it needs that power brick to get the full charging speed, just don't make it complicated, just bundle it together. And I understand that they're going away from this whole like, oh, we're putting the chargers in the box to give the people that we need to or whatever. But this is already turning into a bad experience if this is true. I'm gonna keep my eye on this story. I might even do some testing myself just to kind of see what happens with the MacBook Air power brick. I actually have a MacBook Pro power brick right now because I have one that I was trying to fix, but it's not happening. So I do have a MacBook Pro power brick, and I have, you know, my iPhone 11 Pro one. So I do have all these power bricks right now. So I could do a test. I might look into that myself. But yeah, if that's the case, like, you know, if you go out and buy a third-party power brick that's way above the 20-watt recommended from Apple, and it still charges at 7.5 watts, like the slow charging, then that's BS. I'm gonna say it. It's BS. Final thing I want to talk about today briefly was Apple One did launch yesterday. Sorry, I said today. I think I said today earlier, but it launched yesterday, and that's Apple's all-in-one subscription plan. The one thing is you might want to wait, because if you get it right now, you do get a 1 month free trial, but Apple Fitness isn't out yet, so you're not getting the full package. And plus, if you have some free trials going on, like I just did a free trial for Apple's game service again. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, if you have some free trials going on, you might also want to wait, because it might be cheaper to keep the free trials going than to switch to the Apple One plan. I did go ahead and switch to it because overall it's going to be cheaper, and you get News Plus, and everybody loves News Plus. But yeah, basically I was already paying $25 a month. So I'm paying $5 more to get like 3 more services out of it. So yeah, I'm fine with the Apple One subscription. But, you know, check it out. Let me know what you think. If you're even interested in it, let me know. Like, I'm really curious about it. I'm personally invested in like all Apple services already. They suckered me in. And honestly, it just makes my life easier to subscribe to Apple Music and all the services. I mean, to each his own. There's nothing wrong with whatever services you like. If you like Google services, but you're using an iPhone, nothing wrong with that. I'm just curious to what you think. And I think I'm gonna turn it in for the day, but I will be back on Tuesday with another super cool unboxing. Got my hands on some of those Apple silicone cases. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace. So spooky in here. Might be goblins. It's crazy. I'm scared of goblins. This is dumb. This Halloween thing was dumb.